Hey, what's up? How you doing? This is Trenchy back again to bring you another video. And this time I am starting a new segment called Super Top Tens. Where I deal with top 10 lists. I do a top 10 list involving all superhero type stuff, Marvel, DC, maybe we'll even do some Image, some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe's kinds of falls in there, any type of stuff. I was thinking of starting out doing like a top 10 Marvel heroes, villains, and anti-heroes, and then doing that for DC, and then branching out from there. If you guys want to put suggestions below, please do. But today we are doing top 10 Marvel superheroes, my top 10 favorite Marvel superheroes. And yeah, we're just gonna get into this. Number 10 is Ben Grimm, aka the Thing. One of the essential members of the Fantastic Four. He is the muscle, he's a big rock dude. I always thought his colors popped, the orange, because he's like an orange rock dude. I really like the personality of Ben. He's very loyal to his family, even though Johnny gets on his nerves sometimes and other people get on his nerves. He's still very loyal to them. He's not bad, dude. Most of the time he just wants to relax and have a good time, but he keeps getting frustrated in these situations where he has to go save the day. He is the muscle of the group and he kicks ass. I love his catchphrase. It's clobberin' time. And I think Michael Chiklis did a good job playing him in the original Fantastic Four movie, and well, not the original. The original was Roger Corman, but in the early 2000s Fantastic Four movie and the sequel with the Silver Surfer. I really enjoyed the Thing, and that's why he's number 10 on this list. Number 9 is a little-known hero called Darkhawk. I forget his real name, but he was a kid whose father was involved with the mob. He ended up finding this amulet, and when his father goes missing because of the mob, he swears vengeance using the amulet to fight for justice. It gives him all these cool, like, hawk powers. He's like this metal hawk suit man. He's got, like, these cool wings that are like blades. He can teleport. He has, like, blasters and shit. He's really dope. Very underrated hero. I heard he's coming back for Defenders. I really liked his home life too. I thought that was interesting. His involvements with like his family, and one time his little brother got involved with like this psychopath and he had to stop it. Very interesting storylines. Mostly he was given Spider-Man villains. He did have a few villains of his own. That's mostly, a lot of people compared him to Spider-Man and said he was a ripoff, and that's why he didn't get really the traction he deserved, but he's still a really great hero. And I hope this Defenders show, movie, whatever, will help bring him off the ground and help him get recognized more and more traction, because he's really awesome. And one of my favorites. Number 8 is Iron Man. I think his name's Chris Powell, if I remember right. Darkhawk. Yeah. But number 8 is Iron Man. Tony Stark himself. I really always liked Iron Man. All the different incarnations. There was a weird Nickelodeon show for a while that was he had his own show on Nickelodeon that was pretty weird, but I enjoyed. I don't know if I'd still enjoy it now, but I really liked it. Robert Downey Jr.'s killing it as him. It's Tony Stark. He's a rich billionaire, kind of a douche. Builds all these, gets kidnapped in Iraq, has to build this device, arc reactor connected to his heart. This suit, get him out. He blasts his way out. He whips some ass. He decides to fight for good. I do like Marvel's choice for him to be open as a hero, instead of, because originally, of course, he had the alter ego was Tony Stark and Iron Man. Nobody knew they were connected. But I really like that he's open in the movies. Gives him a uniqueness and kind of goes with his character that he's like, he wants to be seen. He's a prima donna. Also one of the only heroes to have his tumor save the world. Yeah, his tumor saved the fucking world. That happened. It's fucking Iron Man. It's fucking Iron Man, man. You can't go wrong with that character. Very awesome stuff. There was another one where he's being attacked, a comic where he's being attacked by Venom, and he doesn't have his suit, so he's having Jarvis do all these like defense things, and he's trying to crawl to his suit. He's just an interesting, he's just a very interesting character, and I really love his development in the movies, in the comics. It's fucking Iron Man. Number 7 is Cloak and Dagger. I put both of them because they're kind of symbiotic. You can't just put Cloak without Dagger. You kind of need both. And I love Cloak and Dagger. Tyrone and Tandy, 2 orphan kids. Not orphan. Tandy ran away from home. Tyrone was his brother got shot by the police unlawfully, and Tyrone tried to stop it, but he had a stutter, so he couldn't. They end up both being runaways. They end up being kidnapped by this person, have experiments done on them, making them Cloak and Dagger. And the thing I love about Cloak and Dagger is they literally need each other. Not only did Cloak save Tandy from a life of crime, from being attacked by someone, and also stop the crime, stop someone from stealing her purse, which he was going to originally steal, but then he changed his mind after someone else stole it and returned it to her. Cloak has this dark force energy that needs to be tamed, that can only be tamed by Tandy's dagger power. It keeps him from being totally hungry for absorbing people and killing them. It keeps his darkness at bay, but it also keeps her light from getting too much and destroying her. So it's kind of, they have an equal balance. Both very interesting characters. I really love their connection to each other. They really have a deep friendship. I wouldn't call it a romance, but it's a deep friendship and this bond. Like I said, they need each other. They're very, not in a symbiotic way, but just in kind of a partnership way. They need each other, and they're very emotional for each other, and I really like that. I really like that take on it. And Cloak's really a dark character. Cloak, he absorbs and kills people and transports them to like this evil dimension and shit. Like, he has dark force energy running through him. And Tandy is the light. She can like fix people's, like, if someone has a drug problem, she can touch them and help them. And she's like the light and he's like the dark, and I really like that kind of dynamic for heroes. It's really fucking cool. Yeah, very, very underrated group there, Cloak and Dagger. And that's why they're my number 7. I love them. Number 6 is another duo. It's Hank Pym's version of Ant-Man, not to be confused with Paul Rudd's Scott Lang. Hank Pym's version of Ant-Man / Giant Man and the Wasp. I really love Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne. Again, these are characters I grew up with watching the Ultimate Avengers movies. They appear in Ultimate Avengers 1 and 2. Also in the comics, I like Hank Pym's Ant-Man the best, especially with his Giant Man, and that when he grows to these giant forms, that like it takes a toll on his body and it's like hurting them, and Wasp is kind of like the voice of reason to stop. And again, I really like these two. I feel like you need the both of them because they really have a good dynamic and they really need each other. Hank needs someone to keep him in check and be like, you're hurting your body, You gotta chill. You gotta have limits. Well, Wasp, Hank gave her a purpose when her parents were, I believe, murdered. He trained her how to fight. He gave her a purpose in life, and he made her the hero she is, and gave her a way to put her anger and fear into a healthy thing in helping humanity and saving humanity. So I really like those two. Their banter is awesome. Both great heroes. Ant-Man can shrink and control ants, but he can also grow big and whip some ass. But of course, like I said, that takes a toll on his body. Wasp, flying around doing her little shooter shit. It's just it. They're really great. I love that dynamic of them. And yeah, that's why they're number 6 on the hero list. When Giant Man died in fucking Ultimate Avengers 2, I cried. Like that shit was harsh. But yeah, because he sacrificed himself for them all. Number 5 is probably not really a surprise. It's the Wolverine. You can kind of argue Wolverine's kind of an anti-hero. I try not to include anti-heroes on this list, but Wolverine's more heroized than most anti-heroes. I love that half the time he can't even remember his past. He's just kind of this angry loner who gains a family and learns to love and respect them. And, he's pretty much immortal. He has the adamantium claws. He whoops some fucking ass, and he has the senses of an animal. He can very much get along with a lot of wolves and lynxes and stuff like that, like coyotes, because he has that same nature. Wolverines, of course, he has that same nature in him, so he can't speak to them or anything, but they have an understanding of each other because they're the same pretty much. He can smell things. He's a good tracker. He's very much a wilderman. And he's a badass, and he has that anger in him that he has to keep in check, which is very great and very relatable. Just comes together to make an awesome character. He has taken over the X-Men movies for better or worse. I still love him, and he may be a little oversaturated, but he is still the badass, and I can't blame anyone for having them as their favorite X-Men, because he is dope. So yeah, that's why Wolverine's number 5. Coming in at number 4 is another X-Men who I think is highly underrated, and that is my man Beast. He's another Hank McCoy. I love Beast because he's like this monkey bear thing, but most of the time he doesn't want to fight people. He just wants to, do the science experiments like Bruce Banner and Reed Richards and Tony Stark. He's a scientist at heart. He wants to read. He's very educated. He just likes to read and do his science experiments and do lectures. He's a very chill dude. And he's very much an intellectual at heart. He's a Shakespearean. And he may look like this big monster, and he has all these powers like acrobatics and enhanced strength and the teeth, the fangs, the claws. But deep down, he's an intellectual at heart, and he's a peaceful person who only fights when needed to, and he has a strong loyalty to the X-Men and has strong friendships, and is him and Wolverine were pretty close at one point. I believe in the comics, Wolverine and Beast were very tight, and he would help Logan out with his issues and his anger. And yeah, I really love Beast for that. Very interesting standout character, and that's why he's my number 4 in this Marvel list. Now we're getting off of X-Men. X-Men will make a reappearance, so don't you worry. But getting off of X-Men, we're coming in with number 3, the Hulk. Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk. The Hulk, again, you can argue is an anti-hero. It's a classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They pretty much took Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and mixed it with Frankenstein. Bruce Banner, when he gets angry, he turns into this hulking giant green monster that whoops some major ass. I really love the Hulk. Again, sometimes the Hulk can be seen as a blessing or a curse, and sometimes Banner's looking for a cure. Sometimes Banner's wanting the Hulk to come out to help defeat some bad guys. I love how they kind of intricated the Hulk into the Avengers. Like, he's still this monster, but he can get along and work with the team. They've really grown the Hulk out. I especially like the Planet Hulk storyline where he's Hulk full time and he has Banner trapped inside of him. And he's been forsaken by the Avengers, and he's sent to this island, and every planet, not island, and everybody's like looking towards him as a savior, but he's just like this angry, monster. He still sees himself as that, so he has to grow above that to help this slave planet, which I really enjoy. I love everything they do with the Hulk. I find it interesting. Even Scientist Hulk, which I'm not a huge fan of, I think was, pretty cool. And it's the fucking Hulk, man. He comes in and he smashes stuff. Hulk smash, Just a cool monster design. Green big guy with purple shorts, whooping ass. Lou Ferrigno. Ed Norton. I forgot the guy who played him as Bruce in the original. Mark Ruffalo. Just fantastic interpretations, and yeah. That's why Hulk is number 3, because he is the ultimate badass. And he is the strongest there is. And plus he can be multifaceted. He could be the villain of the story. He can be the good guy of the story. He may return on the anti-hero list. Number 2 on the list, we got Daredevil. I love Daredevil. Matt Murdock. This blind martial artist who dresses up as a devil to set fear in the heart of his enemies and whoop some ass. I really like how invested he is to his job. He fights crime at night and is a lawyer by day, with the fun gimmick, Justice is Blind. So he's fully committed. Not only is he beating these people up on the street and bringing them to justice by the police, that he's making sure they stay locked up by day by taking them to court and making sure these guys make sure they make it to the prison and stay behind bars. I really love that kind of dynamic. Very likable character. I really liked the Ben Affleck movie. I know a lot of people didn't, but I did. I also like the dynamic in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon when he came in, and when Spider-Man was being framed, he helped them out. A great fighter. I like how he can see like bats, like through echo waves and shit, through vibrations. His rivalry with the Kingpin is unmatched. One of my favorite hero villain rivalries of all time is Daredevil versus Kingpin, because they contrast each other so fucking well. It's great. I've always been a huge Daredevil fan. I've not seen the new series with Charlie Cox, but I hope I will get around to it soon, because I love fucking Daredevil, and that's why Daredevil is my number 2. Well, before we get to my number 1, I got some honorable mentions I wanted to throw in here. Captain America, the ultimate patriot. Gotta show some respect to him. Nah, wasn't enough to. I don't love him as much as the other guy. other guys, but he's still a great hero. He has earned his spot. Had so many shit happen to him, fucking turning into a werewolf and shit. It's just crazy, man. Next is Black Panther. Gotta respect the King of Wakanda, T'Challa. Gotta respect the king. I like his design as a panther. I like that he runs the kingdom of Wakanda. He's just a great character. Next is Ford, another respect to the king of Asgard, the god of thunder. Always like what they did with Thor. I like how they used to have him in his human form. He would walk with a limp. Mjolnir, I like how they took those, like, sorry for the background noise, but those folk legends of Norse folk legends and made it into the hero style. So yeah, Thor, definitely an honorable mention. Storm, Queen of Africa, great character, very down to earth. I love how wise she is. I love her way, how she controls the weather. That's some badass powers. Gotta love Storm. Doesn't quite make the list, but definitely an honorable mention. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, and the Human Torch, Johnny Storm. I love the Fantastic Four in general. I think they're great. Each member kind of, they all come together. They all play off each other. I can't see them going solo. My favorite is the Thing. That's why he made the list, but I love them all, so they're all honorable mentions here. Also, the Human Torch android from the early, I forget his name, but from the early comics, along with like Namor and Captain America. I always liked him as well. He started out as kind of this monstrosity, and then became a hero. I wish they would have used him more in the Golden Age. Really cool character. Definitely deserves a shout out here in the honorable mentions. Cyclops, another honorable mention. The leader, one of the true leaders of the X-Men. They kind of treated him like a pussy in the movies, but he is a very great leader. His leadership's even better than his powers. Yes, he can shoot these awesome rays of just energy and shit out of his eyes, like these blaster rays. That's fucking dope. But he is a great leader. He is up there with like Captain America and like Reed Richards as one of the best leaders. And I think he's kind of overshadowed and underestimated by a lot of the X-Men, especially nowadays. Nobody really knows what to do with Cyclops. But make Cyclops a leader again, man, because in the comics he led like no other. He was like up there with, like I said, like Captain America in his leading qualities. He knows how to lead a crew. So I hope they go back to that. Rocket Raccoon. That's another honorable mention. I really love Rocket Raccoon. Didn't quite make the list, but he is a fun character. An enhanced raccoon who loves guns and is kind of a con man. He might appear on the anti-hero list because he kind of fits that anti-hero very well. But Rocket Raccoon's just so fucking fun, so he had to be an honorable mention here. Sorry, this is going on a little long. And of course, Black Widow, the Russian spy. Forgot her real name. Shit. But Black Widow whoops some ass. I love her seductress theme to her. I love her connection with Tony. You know, she whoops ass, man. She whoops ass. And she can hold her own with like Captain America and Thor and the Hulk. Well, not fighting them, but she's on there. She's on the Avengers for a fucking reason. She's on that team and one of the stable members for a reason with all these like ultra powered dudes. She's out there whipping ass and taking names and one of the best spies. So yeah, Black Widow. Now we are done with the honorable mentions. We are off to my number one, which is a tie, and that is Spider-Man and Rogue. I love both these characters. I will try to keep this short. But I could not decide between which one of them should be number one, so I put them both because I'm an indecisive fuck. I love them both equally. Spider-Man I've always loved since I've seen the Sam Raimi movies and the 90s cartoon. Reading about him, he's had such great storylines. Being a really smart kid, gets bit by a spider, uses that powers for good. He's a little bit of a dick. He has one-liners, and sometimes he doesn't want to save people that bully him. But he still, all in all, he does the right thing because it's when, he always tried to do the right thing to honor his Uncle Ben, who died, which he believes is his fault, which I guess it kind of is, but... I love the web shooter aspect that he has to put in the web shooters and in midair they could jam and he has to switch them out. His fucking spider sense, his strength, his webbing, his wall climbing, just all of it's fucking awesome. The fact that a lot of villains are like stronger than him and he has to use just raw willpower to win and overcome them is great. Great storylines with like Maximum Carnage. His Rogues Gallery's up there with Batman for one of the best Rogues Gallery, but you got like storylines like Maximum Carnage, or when the Green Goblin brought back his dead parents, but they ended up being, by the Green Goblin, and that really fucked with him. He's been through a lot of shit, Mr. Peter Parker, and he's had some of the best storylines in the comics out there. Sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit, but he's just fucking amazing, and he even beat out like Captain America and Iron Man to kind of be the face of Marvel, which he has earned, being all he's gone through. The Gwen Stacy death where Goblin dropped Gwen Stacy and he does the webbing and it like kind of snaps her neck. So did the Fall kill her or did he kill her? Just all these great storylines, all the shit the character's been through, and he still fights for the side of good. He should have broken down and been evil, but he doesn't. He fights for the side of good, and he's just very resilient and fucking awesome. And that's why Spider-Man's up here with number one. But also Rogue. Man, I fucking love Rogue ever since the X-Men movies with Anna Paquin and the 90s cartoon and X-Men Evolution and the comics. It's just an amazing character, and I love her power is also her curse, because she has all this great power from fighting Captain Marvel. She can take other people's powers, plus she has those powers from Captain Marvel because she touched her too long, and she gained all these great powers. Or Miss Marvel. And, but the thing is, she can't have human contact, or it'll kill her, so she can't have true romance, besides Gambit, who puts his life on the line every day with her, just in the name of love. But she can't have that touch that a lot of us take for granted. To be able to touch another human person, to be able to feel the heat of another person, even if it's just a hug between family or a handshake of respect. That's something she can't have because of this power. But she's still out there. She still has a spunky, fun personality. She has the vibrant hair. She's still out there having fun and whooping some villain's ass, even though she should be locked up in a room pouting. And sometimes they do that. But I really like what they do with her character, and I really have fun with the character. And Rogue is fucking dope. In the end of the day, in the end of the day, I really love Rogue for all those reasons, and I really love Spider-Man for all those reasons, and I wish I could have talked about this better, but shit's going on. But yeah, these two are the cream of the crop for Marvel for me, and some of the reasons I keep going back and watching and stuff like that. So yeah, next time we will be doing top 10 Marvel villains. But if you want any suggestions of what you would like to see on super top 10s, let me know. I got some plans, but I would love to hear other top 10 related lists you think I could do involving superheroes. I want your help. And yeah. You have a good day. Stay frosty. This is Trenchy signing off. Beep up boop.